All right, testing 1 2 1 2. Hello. Oh, well, today seems like a stigma kind of day for me. Nothing bad happened or anything, but I'm just having these mixed feelings and emotions, moods. That's more like it, and um, and yeah, as I could simply pull out one of the lawn chairs out there and just have a seat. The thing is, I think probably better to do this, you know, semi indoors, because the fact I might lose connection. So maybe not, but I don't know. I'm sort of looking at this stuff as much, mixed moods and stigma I'm feeling right now. In a way, I'm looking at it as though I have a lot to share, and I have content, and I have material, I guess you could say. And that's a great thing. It really is. But to get to, I guess to get to the subject or whatever it's going to be, it's one of those times now where our water heater's out, and that's not the issue here. We'll figure a way through that. Um, Lately, well, I'm always just on a daily basis or every other day basis that's Bentley. And you've seen him already. About with those on the autism spectrum or any kind of differentiating, processing, somehow we're able to. I guess maybe I'm the type that could sense things, not just all of the five senses of touch, sound, seeing, hearing, and smelling. Um, and what I'm getting to is that I think I'm the type that could sense pheromones like yourself, but I can also sense what everybody is thinking or what I think that they're thinking. And in anxiety class, you know and OCD related behaviors, that sometimes they call it mind reading or fortune telling, which they're both under jumping to conclusions or so. That could be it. Maybe just an anxiety thing that I just have to soothe out more and work on more. But somehow though, maybe the reason I'm sensing those things is because and I guess one of today's topics could be about wisdom. And the gratitude I have toward it and the sensitivity I have to it. And even when I sense positive things, even that could be overwhelming and not much less harmful. I don't mean to make it feel that way. It's just overwhelming, and just because something's positive, it might be positive to somebody else. It might work for somebody else, as I probably mentioned before. But for me, when something is suggested that, oh, I mean, I swear on my life about it, kind of thing. I hear that from somebody, and okay, I somewhat believe you, and I see that it worked for you. I'm not trying to be negative or anything, but let me look at this, let me read this or whatever, and see how it works for me. And some things have, and some things haven't. But when the things that don't work for me, when someone else bets their life, where someone bets their life on it, I feel that's kind of pushy. And you know, it's nothing against them whatsoever, against any individual, that if it works for them, great. But when they're being just trying to somehow convert you to, maybe, I don't know, like push you to do something, because I've had that happen. And then me, I'm not pushing or rushing them, shoving them to do something whatsoever. It makes you wonder. Then now that's where you gotta, you know, draw the line and have your standards. You know, it sounds very limiting, sure, but you gotta do what's right for you. And you can also be free about it in your own ways, that, you know, I'm not limiting, I'm just different in this way. I process things differently, and I just feel somehow that's being ignored, and they're saying, "Oh, you're not trying hard enough," or no, that's me saying that. I mean, that isn't any individual saying that to me, but any individual that anyone who I've met, you know, recently or later in life, that actually, you know, somehow easily agrees with some of the things I say or do. And what's important is that, you know, when you have agreements or disagreements, that's basically having an argument, or having some kind of compelling argument. Just something you just want to address simply. And I'm just taking a look, and I have to get back to my I will try and make this short, but you know, I'm gonna be on and off and filming, so I don't really have a time limit. But I think one of the reasons there's certain wisdom and suggestions I've always been sensitive to, because I think me, due to the life I you know, was born and raised with, and living, you know, I think a lot of those on the autism spectrum have a full amount of wisdom. They have so much of it, that it's because they've suffered, they've struggled from things, and that's what makes who we are today. You know, I mean, is it necessary to keep suffering something? No. When we suffer and struggle from something, it's learning what other path, what something supplemental that could, you know, help us, where we don't have to struggle. And that's where a lot of the necessary learning and awareness, you know, comes from and happens. And so yeah. And then after a while, you get the resource you need, and you're accommodated appropriately. And then we don't think of I don't think of struggling no longer as a life sentence. Really, it's just there's a lot more stories to tell. There's a lot more to learn from people, and the way I learn things. I suppose, let's just say, anybody who is resistful towards something because they obviously experienced it and process it differently. And let's just say, yeah, I'm familiar with tough love, and I guess it doesn't work for me, or never worked for me, or I'm not letting it work for me. I don't know. But perhaps maybe I have my 2 cents in things. You know, I'm not here to change anyone's mind. I'm just here to tell my perspective. Somehow it does make sense, and I agree with the term that what you want is on the other side of fear. Not that you have to do it all at once, right? But when, just, I guess, as long as you eventually do, as long as I eventually get there. I mean, it's all sad and agreeable, and really all positive all at once, I suppose. But yeah, I suppose this is it for now. You know, I may do a part 2 on this. I don't know, but just thought I'd put it out there. So.